All right, welcome to the show. I'm here with Mike Balmaceda. Mike, tell us about your background and how you got started as an author and as a publishing guru.
Hey Tom, thanks for having me. I'm really excited to be on the podcast. I started just actually going through a lot of Kindle material, some of your stuff actually, which is funny, and I just started publishing my own books. Then I quickly found some really cool strategies to that were really working to get me more sales on my books, and then I started pulling some clients. Eventually, I became really well known in the Kindle niche, and now I help CEOs and publishing companies around the world. So really have gotten big and excited to be on the show.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm excited to have you here, man. So today we're going to talk about probably the most requested topic for people who listen to the show, which is marketing. Like, how do you actually sell books? And I know you have just like, you have an entire course with like 50 different marketing strategies that actually work to help people sell books. So let's talk about some of those kick-ass strategies today on the show. So, I mean, when you're working with a client, CEOs, publishers, just a first-time author,
Yeah.
what do you teach them first and foremost about marketing?
So I think the biggest thing is to try to get more sales and try to make more money with the books. It's all about how the book is perceived a lot of the time. So that comes down to, again, like the cover, the categories, and the keywords. I think the cover and the title also are, again, some of the biggest parts of a book. And kind of as you know, Tom, I mean, the cover is going to be like one of the first things that people see on the page. So that's huge to have that look really good. And then the title have keywords in it as well. Obviously not too many, but when people search, it's going to be great to have keywords in there that will help get their book seen. But even beyond that, again, the cover is huge. But also, if they'd like to have an audiobook actually has made me like $300 a month easy on all of my books, and it's free. So I think that's fantastic, a fantastic way to not only sell more books and make their book look better, but also to make more money as well, which is really cool.
Awesome, dude. So tell me about your audiobook. So how do you get an audiobook done for free?
Yeah, so on acx.com, you can actually go and you just look up your book. And once you're there, you just say, hey, I want to make this an audiobook. Then it'll give you a couple of options. Either you pay someone a flat-out fee to do the audiobook, or you say, hey, give me a voiceover artist for free, and I'll just split the royalties of whatever I make with them. And what's really awesome is that someone will come in, they'll record the entire audiobook for you, and then once they're finished, they're out to try to make some money. And again, sales will make them money and get them paid. So what's really interesting is that these voiceover artists will go and they'll actually promote your book and audiobook for you to try to get some sales. So you not only get some marketing from these people because they want to make some money, but you also get an audiobook that makes you, over $300 a month throughout that process.
That's awesome, man. That's a great tip, and that's huge. I mean, we've published at TCK Publishing. We've published dozens and dozens of audiobooks in just the last couple of months, and we've seen a lot of authors actually sell more and earn more royalties from their audiobook versions than from their ebook versions, which is crazy,
Yeah, no, absolutely. And there's also, I mean, with audiobooks, usually always comes paperback. And usually I personally don't always see the greatest returns on paperback, but what I think is really helpful is to get a paperback and then to price it at a little bit of a higher price, around $18. And what's going to happen through that is it's not only going to get them, making their book look better by having a paperback, but when you price your paperback book at like $18, on your Kindle book page, it's going to show $18 crossed out, and it's going to show, like, if your book's at 99 cents on Kindle, it's going to show a $17 discount, and that helps with conversions a ton. So above all, I suggest people not only to get an audiobook but a paperback, and to price it a little higher so that it shows a huge discount and helps conversions.
Yeah, that's a great point. Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of people do paperbacks, and they price it like so low, like $8 or something, and they're making like a dollar royalty every time they sell a book, and the volume doesn't really help them nearly as much as like positioning it as a more valuable book with a higher price point.
Right, and just that, I mean, the Kindle book will get so many more sales that way because you have another thing helping you through that process, and it's that price. It shows a huge discount. So it's basically like a countdown deal. except like no countdown timer, but it still has the discount. So it helps, basically the same way. Really cool.
Right. So it's just an awesome way to make your book convert better on Amazon. It doesn't really cost you anything extra.
Exactly. Yeah. And the biggest part, when you scroll down to the book is the description too. That's what kind of catches people as well, right? And what's really cool is to have like a special HTML description that you can actually look up that Amazon supports. And you can get a really cool description with orange text and bolded text, which will help your book stand out and convert better.
Yeah.
I usually always suggest that to my clients. That's a big 100% to make a bestseller.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, for anyone who's selling products online, like, the sales page is so important to actually getting you sales. And anything you can do to increase conversions is just going to make you more profits and more money. So whatever traffic you're already driving, whatever customers you're already sharing your product with, having a better converting sales page, or in this case, your page on Amazon, is only going to make you more money.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, that has helped me like so much I can't even explain. But I also want to share something really cool that I think all the people watching are really going to love. It's about charity. So you can actually make a book. If you're going to have multiple books, this really helps a lot. But if you make a book, I suggest giving away all the money. And a lot of people are like, what are you talking about, Mike? Well, what I suggest is if you want to publish a book and you're going to do multiple, if you put up a book and reach out to a charity and say, hey, you can reach out via Facebook, via email, someone that is related to your niche, that has a charity, that has a good following, possibly even close by. Really awesome to just reach out to them and say, hey, I'm launching this book and I'd like to give 100% of the revenue from this book to the charity. Would you mind giving it some exposure and sending it out to your followers? And whatever money I receive, I'll send all to the charity. That's actually worked out really, really well with mainly smaller to mid-level charities. They'll actually send out to their email list, and they'll send out to their Facebook following as well. And all that money that you get, you donate it to charity. What's cool is if you link your books together, you actually get more sales on your other book, and you don't have to give that money away. So that's a really, you just you do a good thing, you give money to charity, you get a huge following, and then you go ahead and you get sales on your other books as well.
That's brilliant, man. I've never heard of anyone doing that. That's a new strategy that I've never heard of, man. So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
No, that's one of many. I mean, all while people are doing this, they have to be sure to be making an email list. I mean, Tom, I'm sure you can probably attest to how influential an email list has been probably to your success, no?
Yeah, absolutely. It's crucial. I always thought it was the #1 thing you can do for marketing. Like if you don't have your email list in place and you're not building it, everything else you're doing in terms of marketing is only going to be half as effective, if that.
100%. I mean, you have a bunch of followers that you can reach out to just by typing an email and hitting send, right? So that's so powerful, and you can email them whenever, not like a one-time thing. So the biggest thing, again, for marketing is to, get people on your email list, and you can do that just by, offering them a free bonus to your book, actually even, providing them an audiobook version of your book for free. You just set up a squeeze page and get an opt-in that way. Super easy, and then you can also mail them about upcoming books that you have later on, and that's how you get sales and have an awesome book launch. I mean, most people can start off with zero, but it's really awesome to build an email list through one of your books, and then whenever you update your book or you have other books, an email list is like crucial.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So what are you using to build your squeeze pages? What tools or software do you use, or do you just hire someone to do it?
I always use OptimizePress. OptimizePress is my #1. I mean, a lot of people use lead pages, but I personally am all about OptimizePress. It's just as good. You just link it up with Aweber. You just put the form in there. Super easy to use, and it's super easy and works just as well. You don't have to pay a fee with lead pages monthly or anything like that. It's a one-time thing, and you can build any type of page. Yeah, it's super easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love OptimizePress. I build all my pages with it. Super easy to do. And the squeeze pages on there, you just need to say, whatever the benefit is in the headline, and then just have them just enter their email, and then as soon as they enter it in, they get the download. Nice and simple, and then
It's
you
so
can mail
easy
them
too.
forever.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
gonna say it's like so easy. Like a lot of authors are like, what do I put on my squeeze page? It's like, okay, sign up here for my newsletter to get updates on my next book. Like, you know,
exactly.
start with whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be complicated. You can always test it and tweak it and improve it along the way. But just start with something, because if you're not building your list, you're wasting a lot of effort and energy.
Exactly. Yeah, and if you put a link to your squeeze page or to wherever this page is that you're capturing the opt-in at the front and the back of your book, that is awesome. I mean, that has worked out extremely well. And make sure that it's at the front of your book in the first 10%, because people that are viewing and may be interested, they'll see that free resource exists, and then they'll opt in and they haven't even bought your book. So that's a great way to just get more exposure that way, without them having to even pay at all.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know, Tom, about perma-free. If you make a book permanently free, I mean, that's the
Yeah.
best way to get thousands of people to view your book. And if you're doing that, you can get people onto your email list a lot more than usual by offering it for free. So I think free works really well with that. Otherwise, I'd suggest like a countdown deal or a 99-cent promo.
Cool. So let's talk about the perma-free program. I mean, how do you get a book permanently free on Amazon? Because there's not like a button you click to do it. It's a little more
Right.
complicated.
Yeah, so what it is, it's a little tricky. What you have to do is you basically have to say to Amazon, hey, my book is free elsewhere. Can you make it free? And the way to do that is to put your book up. So make sure your book isn't in KDP Select, because you can't be posting it on other websites. But what you do, you put it on another website called draft2digital.com. And once you post it up there, they'll distribute it out to like iTunes and Kobo and all these different sites. And you just make sure that the book that you're distributing, this one, is free on Draft2Digital. So once it goes up, they're going to tell you. And then you just go tell Amazon, hey, my book is 99 cents on Amazon, but I have it free over on iTunes. Can you match the price? You just contact Amazon support and tell them. And usually this takes like 48 hours total now with Draft2Digital. And then Amazon will change your book to free, and it'll be free for longer than 5 days, which is awesome. So instead of just a 5-day thing, you could be free for as long as you'd like.
Awesome. Right. And so the way people make money by that is like building your email list and then attracting your readers to then go and buy your other books.
Exactly, 100%. Yeah, and you can also, even there's a secret. Take your book from perma-free and make it back to paid. So if your book is permanently free on Amazon, what you can do is you can just take it off of Draft2Digital and all those other sites, and just tell Amazon, hey, I'd like to make my book paid again. It's not on those sites anymore. Can you please make it 99 cents? And then all that free momentum that you had, it'll go ahead and convert a little bit into paid sales rank as well, so it will help give you a little kickstart there as well. So you got all those emails, and then you start to get paid sales too.
Awesome.
So
give us some data or stats, like how many sales can you get with a perma-free book? How many free downloads, I mean, and then when you bring it back to paid, how many sales can you get, and like how many reviews do you tend to get and stuff like that?
Yeah, so it really depends on the kind of marketing that you do. So when your book is permanently free, the best thing to do is get in front of a lot of people. So the best way to do that is just put it on like free sites. You can use BookBub and other sites like that that will promote the free book for you. Free book promotion just through sites where you can just submit it. Directory sites are awesome. A lot of those exist now. And once you do that, it starts to get some momentum. You'll be pushed up in your categories, which is really cool. And at that point, you start to get organic downloads, which is cool. But I'd say like anywhere from like low 500 per day to like as much as like 5,000 per day I've seen. And then when you convert it over, it really depends on how much momentum you've had. But in many cases, I've seen like 45 sales come through paid at like a really low price point of like 99 cents. And that helps you just boost you up again, in the paid ranking. And if you have those people on your email list, I mean, you can always, push them to another book, and, eventually, if you make an update to your book, whatever, let them know and have people back looking at it. So really influential, and you get more eyes on your book. That always helps, right? It's all about traffic, 100%.
Definitely. So when is the best time to take your book off of perma free? Is it right after when you've had like 5,000 downloads, like a really big day, or is it a couple days after the peak of your sales? What works best for you?
So the best thing to do is actually at the most amount of momentum. So like right when it's peaking, take it off, because if it starts to decline, if you go and like turn it back to paid, it's gonna not be doing too well. So what you have to do is you just have to hit as high of a point as you can, and then take it off of paid, or take it off of free, excuse me, and make it paid. And once you do that, then that momentum will stick into the paid sales rank, which is awesome. That's how you get those sales right at the highest point. So like if you just had gotten 5,000 and it keeps going up, then you take it off, or 400 or 1,000, whatever it is that anyone gets, take it off right at the highest point. Gotcha. That's what's crucial. Have you ever used PermaFree, Tom, at all?
I actually haven't used it for my own books. I've done it for some clients' books and some other books with clients, but not my own books. Yeah, I think I'll probably start to do that with one of my own books.
Yeah, it's super good if you it's like the strategy behind PermaFree is usually for like a couple of books usually. So if you have like 3 books, you make the first one permanently free, and then make the second one like 99 cents, and then the third one have a little bit of a higher price point, like $3.99, $4.99, and or even $2.99. And then what happens is you link them all together. So that permanently free book is going to be the one that's going to be distributing the traffic out to everybody. So that's the best way to do it. You get the sales on a 99-cent book, and then on a $2.99, $3.99, or $4.99 book. And at the same time, you're building your email list through that entire process. So you can always push them to your other books at the same time. That's the best strategy that you can do, really, in any niche. If you're just starting out, that's permanently free. Really works for any niche. And always, as we were talking before this call, actually, Tom, pay-per-click is one of the biggest things to do as well, if of course you have the money for it too.
Yeah, you have to have the money and the expertise, definitely. But just one more thing I want to say about the perma-free is that I've seen, like with novelists, like if you have a trilogy, like 3 romance novels or mystery thrillers or whatever, and you do that first book perma-free, it can have huge results for selling the second and the third book in that trilogy. So that if you got a series of books, I would highly recommend have the first book in the series be free. If not for the 5-day promotion, then the longer perma-free like we're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the best way to do it. I mean, for more books, permanently free helps just push those free people in to other books, get you more sales, and get an email list too. Always helps, right?
Definitely. It's kind of like having like a blog, except people, instead of getting just like a cheap blog post, they're getting an entire book for free, and you're getting hundreds or thousands of people to download it really, really quickly. Right. And so that's just, people get to know you really, really quickly because they've all read your free book.
Right. And a lot of people just use permanently free books to, if they have a blog about fitness or a website about fitness or products on fitness or any kind of niche, what people will do is they'll make a book about it, and then they'll make it permanently free and get all those people on their email list, and then push people over to the website. I mean, that's the best way to get really good organic traffic, and just push it over another way and start making some sales. Amazon's a great way to get traffic if you know how to use it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So let's talk about pay-per-click, man, because I think that's something. I've seen the power of that. I know you've seen the power of that. But I think a lot of people are kind of afraid. They're like, I don't want to pay online for advertising. Like, how do I know I'm not going to get ripped off and so forth? So can you walk people through kind of the process and the thinking behind that?
Yeah. So pay-per-click, I mean, you can spend a fortune if you don't know what you're doing, and if you're like targeting men, women, all ages, doesn't matter who you are, I just want you to check this out. That's not the way to do it. The way that I found is to have really, really precise targeting in your niche, and to narrow it down so that the clicks, every time that they click, it's going to count, and that they're a potential buyer. And the way to do that, let's say, for instance, if we're in fitness, and that's one of our books. What we'll do is we'll go look at bestsellers in the fitness niche. We'll go into Amazon. We'll look at we'll write down the names of all the best-selling authors in the fitness niche. We'll write down like 15 names. Then we go over and make a Facebook ad and target the Facebook page of those best-selling authors in that niche. So what that essentially is doing is whoever's liked those pages are people that are interested in that author, most likely because they've already read their book. In many cases, that's usually what happens because these authors are getting fame from their books. So anyone that likes these pages has usually read the book or has an interest in your niche. So when you go ahead and target them with advertisements, hey, here's this book for 99 cents, or here's this book for $2.99 on sale now, click here, right? And it's just a picture of the book. That's the best way to get targeted people in your niche. I mean, what other way to do it, is there than to get people that are 100% interested when they click? What you just spent on that click is going to count, right? I think that's the best way to do pay-per-click for Kindle, and that's I think the way that all the experts are doing it, as well, just like I am. So.
That's such a brilliant strategy, right? And so we're talking about Facebook ads here because I know we talked about this before the call, but some people right now we didn't mention that. So this is talking about Facebook advertising and Facebook's advertising platform, and that's what's so powerful about it is that you can target people who like my fan page or people who like your fan page. So, if someone's listening to this right now and you're writing a book about book marketing or whatever, you should probably go do that. It's probably going to make you a lot of money, right? Because it's so targeted. It's like people who already bought my book. If you wrote a book just like mine, they might want to buy your book too. So it just totally makes perfect sense.
Yeah, I mean, if I've read your book and then someone targets me about book marketing, I'm just like, oh, I'm interested in that, obviously, because I've read your book already. So makes sense. You can get a lot of sales that way, and that's the best way to spend your money rather than targeting all over the place, not targeting someone specific. That's really the way to go.
Yeah, I remember when I first started with Facebook ads, I think it was just this really generic ad that was targeting everyone from age 13 to 65 plus, and I think it was just people who liked writing or something really generic. And definitely did not make money in that campaign. So be warned, if you don't have good targeting, you're probably not going to make a profit. But what else do you do or tweak on your Facebook ad PPC campaigns to make sure that they make a profit for you?
I mean, the biggest thing is just to talk about the benefit. If it's a nonfiction book, talk about the benefit. If you have a really small excerpt from the book, make the book seem interesting, right? And talk about if this book's on a special price, talk about that this is a discount, give scarcity to it, right? Say that it's only going to be up for 2 more days, get it now, right? And another way is also to add a call to action button, usually in the bottom right of the advertisement, which says click here, buy now, and it brings them to actually click more rather than just see the ad and not take any action. Those buttons are actually, I believe, optional on the advertising, so you can enable them and get people to just click on them. So I think the button, the scarcity, have a really good picture, talk the book up in your actual post. I think that's best, and you'll also see that you'll get likes on your Facebook page when you're doing it. So it helps out. It helps out all the way in all types of ways too.
Definitely. So are you using CPC bidding or are you bidding per CPM?
All per click. You don't want to do per 1,000 usually. It really depends. Usually going per click is the best way to go 100%, especially when you don't really know, you don't really have that many statistics. Later down the line, when you see that if you've run CPM and it seems like it's actually cheaper per click, then that's fine. But usually cost per click is the best way to go from the beginning. Try to test out how much your clicks cost, and then you can always test out, per 1,000 impressions down the line, see how many clicks you get, and if it's cheaper that way, by all means do that. But you don't want to start off with CPM usually ever. Cost per click is the best way to go when you're trying to sell something usually.
Right, so CPC means cost per click, and it means you never pay for that advertising unless someone actually clicks on your link and goes and checks out your book on Amazon.
Correct. Yeah. So you only pay when someone clicks, and it's good advertisement too, because if they don't click, I mean, you just got that branding out of it too, you know. So people know who you are, people know about your book. They didn't particularly click, but you still got some branding out of it too. It wasn't completely, just advertising that had no effect at all. So it
Definitely.
helps.
Yeah, I'm actually reading a book right now called Brainfluence, and it talks about like commercials on TV or even ads on the internet. Even if someone doesn't pay attention to your ad and they don't remember it, it still makes them like your brand more, and it makes them more likely to buy your product, even if they never clicked on the ad, even if they don't even remember seeing the ad. Just the
Right.
act of seeing it unconsciously makes them want to buy from you more if they see you again in the future.
That's awesome. Yeah, you just got to target them everywhere. Have them always see your face, and down the line, just be like, who's this guy? And who's this girl? And then they'll eventually, purchase from you, which is awesome. I mean, just more exposure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
So any other key tips for targeting or making your Facebook ad campaigns really awesome?
I think that's awesome. With that, I would suggest more Facebook advertising. There's always different stuff you can do. I mean, there's so many pages out there now, and I wouldn't usually suggest to build one at this point because the likes will eventually, cost you a little bit more than you're looking for. But you can just reach out to Facebook pages that exist in your niche and just say, hey, I have a book on so-and-so topic. I think this would be great for your customers. Do you mind, messaging this out to them, or posting it on your Facebook page and letting them know about it? You just send the page a message and let them know. And sometimes they don't respond, sometimes they do. But when they do, it really will help out, get you some more exposure. You want to use pagedatapro.com, which is a website that helps you get information on all the best Facebook pages for any keyword. So when you do that, I mean, that really helps out. You just message the page and say, hey, I've got a book on this. Can you tweet it out to your followers or message it out, or whatever it is, whatever the platform is. Usually just Facebook's the best way to go. You can do it on other platforms too. But Facebook, if you message that page and tell them about it, they can just write about it to their customers, to anyone that's liked the page. And if they're hesitant, you can say, if I give $20 and whatever, usually they'll always do it. I mean, it's just more exposure, right? You want to get to the right people, get the right market.
Absolutely. So what's that website again? Page Data Pro?
PageDataPro.com. Yeah, that will help get statistics on all the best Facebook pages in any niche. It's awesome, right?
Yeah, totally, man. This is great information for sure. So if you're listening to the show right now and you want the links or whatever, just check out the show notes below this video or below the podcast, and we'll have the links to all the different websites and everything that Mike's mentioned in here. So keep going, Mike. What else you got to share with us?
Oh man, so much stuff. I mean, I've been doing this. I've been doing this for a while now. We've got all types of different stuff. I actually, help market people's books now. So that's something that I do. All these other tips and stuff that I give. I actually make people's books bestsellers now. That's kind of my thing. As do you, the man TCK. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if people do the main things, cover, description, title, and they just have overall a great book, I think books can do really well. You just have to get a little external marketing sometimes, and I think the strategies that I shared can really help them do that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. That's been amazing. So you've shared some awesome info with us today. I'm definitely going to listen to this again and apply some of those things, because some of that stuff you taught us was totally new to me, which is really cool. It doesn't happen a lot on the show, so thank you for that,
awesome.
man. But before you go, tell us more about your book marketing service, because I think this is something huge. I think it's kind of a game changer in the industry, and I've seen tons of book marketing services out there that are really sketchy, like with fake accounts on Amazon and just all kinds of scams and stuff out there that people say they're going to sell your book for you, and it's completely fake, or it doesn't get results, or it's just a ripoff or whatever. But I know you've got an actual service that actually gives people real results to help them sell books. So tell us about that and how it works.
Yeah, so the biggest thing that I saw is that a lot of people, they want a ton of sales on their books, and sometimes they just don't have time. Sometimes they just don't know how to market it. Almost all the time they have great books, but they just don't have that time or knowledge to actually do the marketing. So, I mean, as you and I already know, we know a lot of marketing ourselves. We were just talking about this before this call. But I mean, marketing's one of the biggest things, and if you want to become a bestseller, what you ultimately have to do is get your book some sales. Usually you can hit the bestseller service list, or excuse me, the bestseller list on Amazon, and then once you do that, you can continue to see organic sales from Amazon. And what I do is I actually have email lists and pay-per-click advertisements set up for almost every single list or every single niche. And what I do is, people come to me and they say, hey, Mike, can you make my book a bestseller? And after doing so many of them, I was like, you know what, I'm just going to make a service where I can just do this for any author. So actually now, Tom, I help anyone in any niche, whether they just started or whether they're professional now, help get sales for their books. I market their book for them and help them become a bestseller. And I give a whole ton of resources that helps them continue to be a bestseller even after I'm completed with my service. So it's a game changer, and I think it's really going to help some people out in the industry.
That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for sharing that with people, because like I said, yeah, I totally agree. I think it is a game changer. Like I said, I mean, I've seen so many services out there that are just fake or just trying to rip people off, and they just don't work. But I've seen, again and again, the results you've gotten for people. And I know actually the method that you're using with like pay-per-click ads and actual email marketing. So you're actually, targeting real people who are real readers, who are really interested in the books that you're promoting. You're not just spamming stuff out or, like I said, using botted accounts or something fake like that. So that's a really cool service. So yeah, below this video, there'll be a link to Mike's bestseller service product.
Awesome.
I highly recommend you check it out.
Awesome. Hey Tom, thanks for having me on. I really loved to be on the podcast, and I hope that we really gave some awesome information today, help make some people get some awesome results.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Mike. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Tom.